Hello world, hello Australia, it's Jamie Burke here, the Crypto Koala. Now today guys, I've got the co-founder and chief operations officer of the Matic Network. His name's Sandeep Nailwal. Great to have you on, Sandeep.
Hey, thanks Crypto Koala. Thanks for inviting me here. I heard that the Crypto Koala community wanted Matic Network to present in front of them. So really happy to be here and looking forward to the discussion.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to come on. I know you're really busy, and the community's reached out, and they really wanted me to do an interview with you guys. So, well, here we are. So, basically, this is going to be an update video talking about your recent, your current, and upcoming developments on the Matic Network. So we just jump straight into it. Hey, Sandeep, if you don't mind. So, yourself and the Matic Network, you recently went to Berlin and to the East Berlin conference. So could you tell us about the main highlights of the trip, and did it inspire the team?
Yeah, so I think Berlin is one of the hotbeds of the cutting edge protocol research that is happening, and that's why when we went to Germany, generally in the events only from the business development, let's say on the business development side would go, and some of the other marketing team would go. But in Germany, in Berlin, our protocol developers also interact with a lot of developers based out in Berlin and all. So we wanted them to have face-to-face discussions with some of the top researchers over there. And Berlin is it's one of the, or not one of the, it's currently the topmost place for the blockchain research. So the team members you see in our pictures, they are primarily tech team members, and they wanted to meet some of their counterparts with whom they are working on many open source projects, discussions, and all that. So that's why we took some technical members also from our team to to experience Berlin and how things go there. Yeah, so it was a very good trip overall.
Oh, brilliant. It's good to give a chance to network and, rub shoulders with other projects, and it's a good thing for your team and your developers. So you guys have had a variety of real...
I'm saying the blockchain development scene is still pretty small. So almost everyone knows everyone. So even our team members, they would know who is working what at, let's say, Gnosis or some other ZK, zero knowledge proof based, research groups and all that. So they all know all of them, via Telegram or, Gitter chats and all that. But then it was a good opportunity to meet them in real. So yeah, that's why.
Quality. So I know recently you've made some really good partnerships and collaborations. So could you share what some of them are, and what are the benefits to the Matic Network and the ecosystem?
Yeah, so see, if you take a closer look at the partnerships that we do, so our main focus is that to have those partnerships and close relationships with the people who are doing or building something on Matic, right? So that's one of our core focus areas whenever we do any particular partnership. But yeah, there are some other partnerships, for example, some research partnerships and this and that, which may be exceptions. But apart from that, I think 80-85% of the partnerships that we announce, or partnerships is also an abused term actually in the crypto space. So most of these are product announcements where some product agrees or formally officially comes on board with us that they want to use Matic Network for their scalability requirements.
Yeah. I just seen you guys, that the growth that you guys and the amount of projects you're joining is incredible. I mean, I'm just blown away by how quickly over the last few months, how many projects have starting to come and use the Matic Network, and the sort of cooperation with you guys. You just seem really active. It's good to see. So since the team started developing the Matic Network, have you come across any major challenges?
In terms of the development, so we have been developing the product for last, almost 1.5 years. So many of the engineering, many of the research problems have been, fairly sorted. Although it's like a very evolving space, and then, every time you solve one problem, and then, there are some other perspectives discovered somewhere. So research also keeps on happening, but overall the technical challenges have been fairly under control for our team. In terms of the challenges, so, I would say that, originally, because we are a pure technical background team, even although I take care of the, some part of the marketing, but, I am also a blockchain developer, right? So initially for us, when we came out to public, it was not very, easy to adapt and to become more and more visible to the community. And, we are very thankful that our community helped us in terms of, asking us what all are the avenues where we should go and present ourselves, and, or have visibility for Matic Network. And I think we learned, just only thing to our credit is that we just learned those things pretty fast. And then, we've been going at it very aggressively. And, and also if you come to Matic community, let's say, be it on Telegram or Twitter, it's a very engaged community. And in our community, generally, people are very, what should I say? Like they're very, actively engaged in terms of speaking to, speaking about the marketing sort of endeavors that we have to do. I mean, on Twitter, most of our interviews are also scheduled or initially tagged along to the interviewers by some of our community members. So, that's all of this stuff. People are thinking, as you said, that, you are amazed by the way Matic is being, it has been able to put its visibility in the overall, crypto community. I think a large part of that credit goes to our community itself. We just, whatever our community says, we simply say, yes, we'll do it.
Sure.
And we do it.
And I understand, like, that's really good. And you don't see a lot of projects that you really are engaged with the community. So I just like to applaud you for that. And would you say that, that's one of your biggest accomplishments? Or what would you say so far is the biggest accomplishment that Matic Network have done so far?
So biggest accomplishment, I would say, is in the adoption front. So, and I jokingly generally say this, that in terms of the number of applications who are building on Matic Network, I think we are already one of the top 10 or top 15 platforms across the world. And, the top 5 would include, let's say, Ethereum and, maybe, Binance Chain, Tron, EOS, right? These big wigs. But if you see after 5 or 6 names, you don't have many platforms which have third-party applications building on top of them. And and Matic has been able to achieve that. A large number of third-party applications are building on Matic, which is like really, is the best thing that we have done in the past few months. Yeah.
Sure. And I understand, getting up to playing with them big boys like Ethereum, and I see like Ethereum tapping into the DeFi space, the decentralized finance space, and with the applications that exist, they're potentially revolutionizing lending. So this seems to be the direction of where Ethereum is going. Are you guys assisting any of them decentralized applications, or do you aim to be?
So yeah, I mean, since Matic Network uses Plasma framework, so it provides the security which is almost at the same level of the Ethereum main chain. So some of the like DeFi use cases, for example, DEXs and payments and all that, can very securely and very effectively happen on the sidechain. For the lending use cases, especially where the lend amount is like a large amount, I think that Ethereum main chain is the best area to have those. But once some of these lending applications start reaching a particular level of scale, then maybe they may start using Matic sidechain. But for now, because we are very strong Ethereum believers, and the Matic Network is essentially a layer 2 on Ethereum, so we think that currently for all the DeFi applications, Ethereum is good enough. And for the large amount use cases where, let's say, you are lending, $10,000 or $100,000 on a lending platform, you don't really need the sidechain for the scalability. You can very easily spend half a dollar or $1 on the transaction and keep it 100% safe, which is the Ethereum blockchain, and keep it on the main chain. Yeah.
Great stuff. And I want to go in a different direction now. And I know you guys are big fans of blockchain games. And I know blockchain games are big for adoption, and the Matic team have an interest in that space. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so gaming is one of our biggest, avenues where we are getting adoption, and as everybody knows, that one of the biggest gaming or virtual reality platform in blockchain space, Decentralized, is already building on Matic. Their marketplace is expected to come live on Matic, in some time once we go onto the mainnet sometime after that. And then we have pretty solid titles like Chain Breakers and the Trial of the Artemis, and many big marble cards and all that. So many big games are actually testing out, trialing out Matic right now. So because of the inherent benefits of Matic Network, especially in terms of the scalability, the speed, and very low cost transactions, and the user experience and the developer experience being extremely high, we are seeing a very growing interest in Matic Network. Compare that to some other gaming sidechain projects, for example, which are just mere sidechains and do not offer a certain level of security. So for any game which let's say expects to go beyond a certain scale, for them it's very it may become a very insecure proposition in the future. So many games which have a huge community already at a starting stage, for them Matic Network and being on Matic Network makes much more sense than being on a slightly less or very less decentralized and less secure platform.
Sure. So what makes the Matic Network DApp, so the actual centralized application, attractive to use? I mean, what are some of the use cases?
So as you already mentioned, so gaming is one of the use cases, right? Then the second use case is, which we are also very proud of, are the real world use cases. So there are many applications which are building some real world use cases of blockchain applications in the so for example, Spring Roll is there, which is a LinkedIn on blockchain, right? And then there are applications like Stack City who are building let's say a decentralized Wi-Fi based or Wi-Fi endpoint based ad network, where you can get free Wi-Fi access by looking at some ads and all, right? So they are doing that. Similarly, you have in India, you have some products like TradeLink who are building end-to-end enterprise data interchange, EDI basically layer on blockchain, using Matic Network. So real world use cases is also one important part. Then payments is also again a very important part. Payments and DEXs. So there are quite a few teams who are building. There's a full-blown DEX that is being built on Matic Network by one team. And apart from payments, DeFi, gaming, real world use cases, the one big area is the protocols. So many protocols, let's say, which are there in the, let's say, cloud computing space, or a lot of these kind of storage space, for example, and all that. So they have to charge, or they have to make payments their hosting providers, like whoever are running those nodes. So for those nodes also, they require payment solutions, and many protocols are also right now testing out Matic Network as a mode of payment for on-chain settlements.
Great stuff. I want to ask you a bit more of a personal question now, and you're based in India, and I said the majority of the team of the Mac team is based in India. So what are your thoughts on the current stance of the Indian government towards crypto and blockchain? Do you think that the Indian government is warming to crypto?
Yeah, so I mean, like some time back, we started seeing some FUDs around the space where some rubbish and unsubstantiated articles were published where Indian government will be banning and there will be jail and this and that. But we always maintained that India is a very strong democracy, and it's very hard to implement those draconian laws in India. It's not easy to implement outright bans and all that. In India, whatever RBI also did, it was not a ban. It was done in a very smart way. So what they did is that they simply said banks to not support the exchanges, but because all banks in India are affiliated to RBI, so all the RBI affiliated bank could not support the fiat on ramps for exchanges. So only that thing was done by RBI. Otherwise, so we are very positive now. There are already reports coming out where where the actual government committees are talking about it, and they have some of them have even proclaimed ICOs and cryptocurrencies as new innovations in fintech space. So we are fairly positive that whenever a regulation, an actual regulation comes in India, it will be a fair and forward-looking regulation rather than a complete archaic kind of this thing. Sorry, yeah.
Sure, and I understand, and I mean, there's a lot of other countries, especially the US, they slowly but surely their laws are coming up to scratch, and I think that's key. That environment's going to be key for projects to flourish and for innovation to flourish. So what's the next 24 months look like for Matic? What's the main things that you guys are aiming at building, on the horizon?
Yeah, so for us, the biggest milestone is like first to have our beta mainnet live and have our staking ecosystem fully bootstrapped and fully functional in a very secure and stable way. And once that's there, there are already, as I told, that large number of applications which are looking to migrate to the mainnet. So these applications will start migrating to the mainnet, and once the the mainnet mainnet is just past the mainnet is actually completed. From there, we our complete focus will only be on the adoption part, like bringing more and more applications on platform for their various kind of activities. I mean, in terms of the marketing, and also we want Matic to be a very strongly adopted platform, and that's what is our goal in the next 24 months, as you asked.
Very exciting. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. So I guess want to finish up with this question is here, any Coinbase listing, in the short future, or for the MAC token, any sort of glimpse of that?
So actually, as you all know, that these are very regulated kind of exchanges, and for any exchange, we are not allowed to speak anything about it. So I would reserve my comments on that.
Yeah, no worries, Sandeep. Well, I'll give a quick disclaimer, like I do in all my videos. I'm not saying go and buy MAC tokens, do your own research. I enjoy Matic, and it's a really good community, and I really enjoy the team, seeing the team, and yeah, make sure you do your own due diligence. So much. Thank you for your time, Sandeep. I'll put the links down below if you want to check out the Matic Network for yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandeep, and you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Koala, and thanks to the community for inviting us here and voting for us to be here. Absolutely, thanks a lot, and we would love to be here again once we have more updates.
Sure, yeah. It'd be a privilege to do an update video with you guys in the future. Once your mainnet's released, and yeah, that'll be really good, Sandeep. So you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later, mate.
Thank you so much. Same to you. Same to you, and same to you.
Okay, bye, mate.
Bye.